This video is for you if you feel like you are grieving the artist you actually are, but you buried it underneath all these false beliefs and beliefs that you won't make it in this life and you've got to pay the bills because whatever. Listen, this video is for you because we're gonna uncover a few things from The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. One of the biggest things that I discovered since I've been doing this, and as you can see, I'm like halfway through, and it's already working for me because I found this new focus and intention, not only in making these videos, but I'm also working on some other things that I have not worked on for a long time, like more than 3 years. It's working, and that's why I want to share it with you. And what I've been discovering in the last 5 weeks is that I was grieving the artist I've buried for a long time. And the artist I've buried many artist forms that I had to let go of. I think the first artist I had to let go of was me as an actress. I once was invited into a fine arts master in Los Angeles in acting for film. New York Film Academy, so there were like 10,000 applicants and 120 each year got accepted, and I was one of them. But I did not get a full scholarship, and at the same time I was at the high days of my disease. So actually, already in sobriety, this would have been a very ambitious situation, and one day I really hope to maybe, get the money to still go and do it, because I do feel like I've got a few Bond girls in me, jumping out of an airplane and like looking amazing while doing it and saying something epic. But I did have to let go of that version of myself that back then was not going to be able to survive in the way that I tried to go for it. And I firmly believe that if I would have gone to LA in the state that I was right there, I probably would not have survived it, especially with everything that's coming up right now, like with all the darkness that is in Hollywood. Like I would be like a moth to the flame, not even maybe a moth, more like a baby moth. Like, no, it was not for me. Anyway, so I had to let go of that actress dream of mine. Even though I did like internships, I was invested. I worked for free. I worked for underpayment. I gave it my time. I gave it my all. And I just knew that deep down that was what I wanted to do. It's funny because I haven't thought about that until making this video in a long time. We'll never know. We never know what the future may bring for us. So that's one of the artists that I had to bury. Then there is the artist of actually the painter. And I have had like a few expositions and I sold a few pieces. But I was also at the same time in this underground world where I didn't make it to LA. So at one point I just had all brakes loose in the illegal festival techno scene of Amsterdam. I was invited to have a few paintings here and there, like as an act on a festival, which I also I was not the person for, because my paintings are so personal to me that I do have a little online store right now. Just if anybody would want, it was more like a test, if anybody would want to give money in trade of one of my artworks, there's a possibility now. But I'm not pursuing it because at one point I really started to catch demons in my own paintings, and I started to paint portals. So through those portals, the demons came out, and it was not pretty. It was not sustainable. So, okay, me going in active addiction to Los Angeles to become an actress without a real plan or a real support system was not going to happen. Thank God. Then there was me being an artist in the classical painting sense of the way. I also made a few sculptures. I got into dangerous situations, not only because I started to paint portals and caught demons in my own paintings. I also got into situations where, I don't know if you've seen the movie Bombshell about those Fox helper guys. I met one of those. Didn't work out. Thank God. again. Then third, in sobriety, I first became a rapper and I had my first performance. And then I had this situation where one of the guys that I made a track with started to remake my voice into a remix that went way darker. And it was already quite an aggressive baking soda kind of dynamite track. So it was already, this was the most on edge that I wanted to bring out into the world, where I can connect my light to. And then this guy, without my permission, is using my voice and making it into some really creepy, dark, like parking lot of hell kind of remix. Like, no, I did not give permission. So that's when I decided to learn how to make music and produce music in Ableton myself. Dude, I am not a producer. But when I was into this producer academy, I was dealing with all these so-called DJs. And mind you, I was trying to do this to be my own poetry and rapper, you know. But then I saw all these DJs and I remembered that I am a better DJ than all those little boys all together. And that's how I ended up in Ibiza, because I also did not let it go. And I needed to ride out that wave until it was really done. Well, and that was 18 months ago. I came back from Ibiza and I remembered, like, okay, if I really wanted to go for the DJ stuff, because I've got opportunity here, then I've got to really do something about it. And I've got to go back into the underground of Amsterdam, because I do want to do the real music DJing and no commercial stuff. So I figured, okay, then I've got to go back. I've got to really go into the underground, build a community and go from there. And again, that was not sustainable for me, because this time I was 4 years into sobriety. I was pitching myself to these guys who own Radion. Like, you know, I think they probably won't even remember. Let's just say, again, it did not work out. So here we are 18 months ago, and I am wondering why I felt stuck. Well, if we sum it up all together, it looks like I have tried and went all in, and I went for the wrong conclusions in my experiences. Because apparently God has something better in store for me than all these things together. And these were like beautiful fantasies, you know? These were like beautiful things. But the belief I created, because I'm creative, you know, I believed that every time I went full in on my artistry, I would end up being hurt. And that's why I buried my artist deep within, became a 9-to-5 tender manager in construction, which is an awesome way of spending your time, by the way. It's a really nice game to play with all those deals going on and, like, you know, driving a good car and stuff like that. But doesn't change the fact that underneath it, I buried my own inner artist. And we're going to quit doing that. That's why I'm doing this. And I'm trying to not control it. Because if you know me by now, you know that that's an urge. That's like a wiring. I'm not controlling it. And that's why I'm just making all these videos. And I am going to see you in the next video. And we're going to talk more about what it is to be a shadow artist. Within time. Bye.